God's plan B was fixing to unfold. It was something that had never even been conceived by anyone in heaven or on earth. Anyone but one. Man, who was made in God's image, had tarnished that image beyond recognition, but now God did the most bodacious thing imaginable. Not even imaginable. He become man. Now at last he got himself a bride. Now he needs a groom for the bride. Now, that might tangle your brain up a bit, but hang in there, it'll all straighten out in the end. That's the story I got to tell you. It started one day when God hands a little scroll to one of the angels and tells him he's got a message to deliver. Well, that weren't no big surprise in itself, though it's not like it's an everyday occurrence. There's a whole slew of angels whose whole job is to deliver messages from God to man. Them angels is called herald angels. I guess you knew that, you heard of it. And their leader is named Gabe. So, the day God calls Gabe over and slips this little scroll to him, it nearly went unnoticed by most of the angels. Hey, you want to know what God looks like? Well, that's completely the wrong question, as you're about to discover. Any description is merely searching for words and earthly images with which to compare him. God is spirit, so he ain't a being limited by skin at all in the first place. But let me take a crack at it. Heaven is another dimension. In the middle of it, if there is a middle, are tens of thousands of shining beings, all gathered around the one whose light makes the sun look like shade. Around the overwhelming glory of the presence are reflections that look like the sound of music, or the surface of a rainbow, or the overwhelming pungency of incense, or the image of eternity. So when Gabe takes the scroll from the one on the throne, what happens is hard to describe. The scroll is like humming. The rainbow leaves the throne and stays with the scroll. Well, words ain't helping me to describe the fact that the presence went with the scroll. Gabe is swallowed up in the glory, but he don't know it yet. Of course, everyone else there knows it, and they follow God's herald angel to the gateway to earth. And before Gabe walks through the door, he opens up the scroll to see what the message is he's to deliver. The music swells, and the rainbow flares and glows, and the smoke billows out, I guess you could say, and Gabe sure weren't expecting all this as it comes to roost in his angelic brain that he is holding God. Gabe gasps. He drops his Slurpee right there on the floor. First mess in heaven. That's something you might already guess. There ain't no mops in heaven. Well, no dirt. Floor really is so clean your grandmother could eat right off it. That's right. So this was something truly new. Gabe stands there with no idea what to do. A voice booms from the throne. Go! So he gets. The glory has left the building. There is a mess in heaven. The whole event triggers the first silence in heaven. You have to understand how astounding that was. For eternity, there was no ceasing of thousands upon thousands of voices in praise. Constant worship. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. But now, all heaven stops. What is happening? Although the presence of God is still on the throne, the glory has departed. Ichabod. Two angels silently go about the work of cleanup there in heaven, while the rest stare in awed silence as the archangel Gabriel slips off to deliver a message to a young virgin on earth by the name of Mary Fullagrace.